So now we're getting a thunderstorm. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Those clouds are moving pretty quick aloft. There's a pretty strong southerly flow. You also hear the rumbles of thunder. It's not a heavy thunderstorm, it's just light rain with thunder right now. Light to moderate rain with thunder, with a light south wind. You can see the clouds aloft are pretty fast from the south right now. There's currently a south wind coming in right now. I'm surprised the winds hadn't shifted since that system came through. I mean, look, those clouds are moving really fast. Nothing severe. There haven't been any severe reports or any severe warnings for any of this activity. Even the core of the showers and thunder showers don't have any warnings on it. I guess the National Weather Service was right for only putting a marginal. Not even a slight, we're only under a marginal risk for today. Even though it got up to 82 degrees, which was 4 degrees warmer than expected, we still didn't get any severe weather. I was hoping that it was going to get warmer so we could see some severe thunderstorms, but alas, no dice. But as we go into July and August, with low solar activity, there could be some maybe cold pools coming in from the Arctic, possibly, but I doubt it. Anyway, I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Before I go, I actually read that volcanic activity, which basically confirmed my suspicion that the Raycock eruption in June of 2019, which was about a year ago, that caused all those brilliant displays in September, October, November, even to parts of December, is why we actually did not get a very cold winter in the Northeast, like in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. It's why the winter wasn't as cold as I was expected. Because what happened was all those aerosols that were ejected into the stratosphere caused cooling in the Arctic, which actually strengthened the polar vortex. And because the polar vortex was so intense, it didn't break up and sent cold air into the United States. You would think, when it's so cold, it means the polar vortex is intense. No. The Arctic oscillation is indicative of how strong the polar vortex is. A neutral Arctic oscillation, or AO, means that the polar vortex is neither positive or negative. It's stable, or it's neutral. When you have a very positive AO, it means the Arctic oscillation is extremely strong, which basically means you have a very strong polar vortex. A negative AO means you have a breakdown of the Arctic oscillation, or a breakdown of the polar vortex. And the breakdown of the polar vortex sends cold air into the United States. So the stronger the polar vortex, the more cold air, the colder the air is going to be over the poles, but it's also going to be warmer here. So when the polar vortex, in rare cases, you could get a strong polar vortex that will pivot downwards and bring you blasts of cold air, but not a piece of it will break off and hover over the United States. So the polar vortex, stop raining. The polar vortex basically is a vortex of cold air, usually, and low pressures will frequently rotate around the polar vortex. If you have a very strong polar vortex, the strongest storms that usually bring the snowstorms will be further north. If you have a weaker polar vortex, or a large piece of it comes further down, you will have cold weather and storms going up the East Coast. Sometimes a piece of the polar vortex can come down and even form its own system, its own storm. It's rare, but it happens. Well, thank you for watching. I have to go now. So this is just a quick live stream I made. And yes, tropical weather. This tropical weather, the tropics for this year looks to be very bad. I have to say, because the because La Nina is getting stronger. Like, it's getting pretty intense. And there's a lot of warm water in the Atlantic. The intertropical convergence zone between 10 and 20 degrees north and between 0 and 70 and 50 degrees west is extremely warm. Like, the whole intertropical convergence zone, especially right where the Cape Cabo Verde is extremely warm. About 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal, which is on par with 2004 or the 2005 hurricane season. So yeah, we even have a stronger La Nina than that year. So yeah, we could have another active hurricane season where we could possibly go into the Greek alphabets, because Hurricane Dennis actually happened in the middle of July, and we're already in the middle of June. We already have our third system, and we're on the verge of having our fourth. If that wave develops, it could become a D-named storm in June. With Dennis in 2005 actually happened in July. We're already at or ahead of 2005 already. So things are looking really active this year. However, the good news I have to say is the North Atlantic waters near the East Coast are pretty cool. They're chilly. So that's good news. So I have to go now. Thank you for watching. Bye.